Here I am among some of my favorite RC airplanes in this kind of RC airplane corner. And of course I have a new plane to look at today, and it's the E-Flite P-39, the Airacobra 1.2 meter RC airplane. And I've had my eyes on this one for a really long time. And finally I just said to myself, well, you know, I just had to purchase one and try it. So let's head out to the flying field and do a flight on this one, and let's talk more about what I think about the P-39 afterwards. Let's get this one going then. Gears are up. It was a really easy takeoff. I had a few flights prior to this flight, so this is not the maiden flight. Maybe this is like the 5th flight or something. And just as most E-Flite RC airplanes, it is really easy to fly this one. And you know, just well-controlled RC airplane. Does have a nice speed on the 4S batteries. So the battery side is a 4S 2.2 amp battery, smart battery from Spectrum. And roll rate is really great with this one. Really straight rolls. So having snappy, you really have to push the throttle, but even going a little bit slower, they are straight and with a good attitude also. So it's a bit of a tricky wind today. But as long as I have keeping speed up, it doesn't seem to influence the Airacobra in any significant way, really. It feels really rock steady in the air. When you push it, it becomes really snappy rolling RC airplane, the P-39. Really nice swooshing sound from the wing also when you fly a little bit closer. So in all fairness, if you have one of these E-Flite 1.2 meter warbirds, don't expect any other to actually fly better. There are minor differences between them, and just as the others, this one flies great. You can see the wings do rock a bit because the wind is, there are some wind gusts. So I'm keeping speed up just to avoid crashing this one, because I don't trust wind gusts. They can just let go and change direction, and then you have no lift, and then the plane will just, you know, dip in one or the other direction. So deploying flaps. I'm doing this circling just to have a closer look and to explore slower flying, and as you can see it is influenced quite a bit by the wind. So had I had a calm day I could even go lower and slower, but for now I just like to keep it safe and not crash it on a maiden day. So gears are deployed and all three of them are down. So we're ready for doing a landing approach, and it's a little bit difficult when you have to keep speed up. Always a good challenge also. Oops. Okay, could call that a touch and go, but it was actually a really bad landing, so let's make another attempt. Remember to flare. Yeah, much better. So it's not difficult to land this one, but sometimes you just have a too steep angle. This P-39 Airacobra flies really well. More or less it flies just as good as the Mustang P-51 or Corsair. If I would compare these three, because they are similar sized, they are almost the same price, I would say that both the Corsair and the P-51, they slow down much better with flaps. I will also say that I personally I dig all of them. I dig this one, I dig the design of the P-51 and the Corsair, but there's something about the Corsair in the air that just look majestic, so maybe of these three I would rank the Corsair the best. And of course I love the design of the P-51, I always do. And this design is more new to me maybe, and it's not the absolute favorite, although it looks really nice with all the details. It does also feature this three-bladed prop, and in my experience the three-bladed props are less vulnerable to break if you have a bad landing, and they do sound just as nice as the four-bladed. So it's a good compromise, and I really like the look of them also, regardless of which airplane they are on, really. So to assemble this one is super easy. You have the 4 screws on the main wing, and I believe 2 screws for the rear stabilizer on these, like on almost all the E-Flite RC airplanes. I had one problem with the flaps, because when I flew this, the flaps didn't deploy and it didn't slow down the plane. I discovered this after the flight. So it turned out that these screws underneath, which you mount the wing, which are here, you really have to make sure that there is no gap between the fuse and the wing, because mine had, and I had to really tighten those 2 screws, and then I had a good connection. So because there is a quick connection in the wing, so there are no cables, just 3 connectors from the wing, and there are 3 female connectors on the fuse. So this it's like an integrated connection and everything. So that's a thing to check. I did also experience on one landing that the nose gear didn't deploy as it should. So it was a little bit, it did land, but then the nose just dropped down, but no damage, which is really nice. So, I mean, it's not my favorite 1.2 meter warbird. It's not. I think the CJ6, for instance, looks much nicer than this one. I also think that the Corsair in the air looks much nicer. On the ground, I think this one looks great, but when you fly them, this is more, it's not as striking as the other ones, but it flies really nice, except for this slow flying, flap flying, which is better on the P-51 and Corsair. So that's my thoughts about this P-39 Airacobra from E-Flite.